Textile Treats from Pod 17, Recycled Silk Gown, 1720 to 1885. Hello and welcome to Glasgow Museums Resource Centre. My name is Rebecca Quinton and I'm the Curator of European Costume and Textiles. Glasgow Museums Resource Centre is a purpose-built museum store situated in Nits Hill that houses 17 individual stalls known as pods. Each is climate controlled and designed to hold a particular part of the collection. The last store to be developed is Pod 17, which is also the furthest away from the entrance and takes up the space above the two doors at the end of the silver wing on the left of this photograph. It is home to the European Costume and Textile collection. This short talk on a textile treat in Pod 17 will introduce you to one of the highlights from this collection. This beautiful dress, shown here on display in Kelvin Grove Art Gallery Museum a few years ago, is a wonderful example of sustainable fashion. Not only is it made from natural rather than synthetic fibres, it was worn by at least 3 different women over the course of 150 years. For this display, it was mounted as worn by its second wearer during the 1770s as an English gown or robe à la anglaise. For this style of dress, the bodice is closed at the front and fitted into the curve of the back behind. Earlier in the century, this may have been achieved by pleating widths of the silk to fit, but by the 1770s the back panels were cut to fit. Below the skirt is open at the front to reveal the underskirt, known as a petticoat. Here this is a modern replica. The cuffs are covered in ruched cream silk, which was a popular style in the 1770s and help us to date the gown. However, there are various indications that this is not the original date for this dress. A closer inspection of the bodice shows that the front is pieced together with 11 bits of silk. Meanwhile, neither the silk on the front and the back has been pattern matched to be symmetrical on the wearer. These are both things you would not expect to see on a newly made dress. But the biggest clue that this dress is remade from an earlier gown is the silk. It has been woven with a point or mirror peak design that has vertical symmetry down the length of the fabric. If you look closely at the skirt, it is possible to see faint horizontal stripes in purple, blue and green, where secondary weft threads add colours into the design in imitation of more expensive brocaded silks. The design and technique helped us date the silk to one that was probably woven in Spitalfields, London in about 1720 to 32. It was not unusual to recycle expensive silks during the 1700s. In this portrait from 1765 by Nathaniel Hone in the Burrell collection, Antonina Willoughby is shown wearing a dress made from a brocaded silk that is very similar to several designs by Anna Maria Garthwaite for Spitalfields silk weavers in 1743. At this date, all clothing was handmade. Women's dresses, especially the skirt and petticoats, were sewn together using running stitch, which is easy to unpick. Gowns would be passed down from mothers to daughters or from a lady to her maid as a perk. The next owner would either alter the dress to the latest fashion to wear themselves or sell it on the second-hand market. When large pattern silks, such as this one, were no longer fashionable, dresses were packed away for future use. This gown was worn a third time in the 1870s or 80s, when there was a revival of 1770 to 80s style dresses, both in contemporary dress with the introduction of the bustle, but also for fancy dress, as seen in this painting by Pascal Adolphe Jean Dagan-Bouveret from about 1878 to 85. However, these Victorian alterations to the gown are minimal. Darts and bonings have been added to the bodice to make it fit the contemporary hourglass rather than conical body shape of the 1700s. I do hope you've enjoyed this talk on this recycled dress. Please join me again sometime to discover another textile treat from Pod 17. Goodbye.